Just bear with me, my boxing heads. I'll be live in a couple of minutes. I'm just driving. Give me 1 minute and we're going to be live. I'll be back in a moment. Yo, what is going on to all the boxing world? All over the fucking world, mate. One of the biggest fights in England. A legacy fight. A blood rivalry. It has finally happened. Here we go. The press conference happened, bro. And it was face to face. This fight is not a fantasy fight anymore, bruv. This is a real fight. This is a fight that's gonna happen. It's gonna be fucking ecstatic. It's going to be the biggest fight, one of the biggest fights in England. We're hyped up, and I hope you're hyped up across the pond. I hope everybody else is hyped up for this fight, bro. But let me just say this. Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn, fighting for the rivalry of their fathers. Their fathers have left a legacy behind. The two legends in England, Nigel Benn, the Dark Destroyer, Chris Eubank Sr., now their kids are going at it. And I'm telling you now, this is bad blood. Like Chris Eubank said, this is a fight that never ended. With the Eubanks and the Benns, it's always going to be rivalry. This is a massive rivalry. It's a British showdown, bruv. And I'm going to say this right now. This fight is so big in England. This fight might not be big across the world, but in England, this fight is one of the biggest fights that you can ever ask for. And let me just explain why. This fight comes with a bloodline of two men that left a legacy behind. One of the biggest legacies that they left behind was the fight that Nigel Benn had with Chris Eubank Sr. It was a fight that's never been forgotten. Even today, they talk about that fight. Hey, let me put that music down, man. Put the fucking music down, bruv. I'm on live. You know what I mean? You want to get me fucking copyrighted? Yo, so let me just say this, people. This fight, yeah, is massive in England because Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank are legends for us. Now, they might not be legends across the pond. They might not be James Toney, Roy Jones. But these two guys, Nigel Benn and Chris Eubanks, are like the legends of Roy Jones and James Toney across the pond. And both of their kids are going to go at it to fight for their bloodline that was left behind 30 over years ago. So let's just get straight to the press conference and let's see what we saw in the press conference. And I'm going to say this. I would have wanted Conor Benn to be a bit more vocal. But Chris Eubank, he was trying to get into Conor Benn's skin. And Chris Eubank said that this is going to be an execution. This ain't a fight. He said that 60% of me even comes in that ring. I'm gonna execute Conor Benn. Chris Eubank Jr. said he's gonna execute Conor Benn. And Conor Benn said to him, you got egos. He said to Chris Eubank Jr., you got an ego problem. You really think you're gonna come in the ring and go through me? And Chris Eubank is just like, you know what? You're not on my level. I'm just in this fight for the money. And if I lose to Conor Benn, I shouldn't be fighting anymore. Well, let's break that down. So Chris Eubank Jr. believes that Conor Benn shouldn't even be in the ring with him. And even if he comes in at 60% of his all-round fighting ability is enough to beat the destroyer, Conor Benn. Now, look, at the end of the day, it was a press conference. It was tongue-in-cheek. You know what I'm saying? Even Chris Eubank said that at the end of the day, he said, you got big balls. He turned around and said to Conor Benn, you got big motherfucking balls. He said, you got big balls, kid, getting in that ring with me. He told Conor Benn that he gives him a lot of respect for even taking that fight. Well, I'll tell you this. Conor Benn said he's going to be the first guy ever to stop Chris Eubank Jr. What do you guys think about that? Well, this is my opinions right now. Yeah, Chris Eubank's never been at a lighter weight than 160, but he has to make 157. Is 157 too much to shred a big man like Chris Eubank Jr.? Now, that is giving an advantage to Conor Benn. When they're trying to get Chris Eubank Jr. to get down to 157, bro, when the kid has never weighed at 157 all his life. He never fought at 157 when he was a fucking kid. So that does give some advantages to Conor Benn. But let's also look at Conor Benn. He's going up a weight class. He's going up nearly 2 weight classes. And that's not easy to do. So Conor Benn is also in a disadvantage. And there's both disadvantages and advantages to both fighters. There's both disadvantages and advantages to both fighters. And at this point, is it an even matchup? Hey, Chris Eubank Jr. said this is not a 50-50 fight. I'm going to execute Conor Benn. I'm going to fuck him up. So Chris Eubank Jr. does not believe that this fight is on level peggings. But what do you think about it, mate? And I'm going to say right now, I've got to favour Chris Eubank Jr. I have to favour Chris Eubank Jr. because he's also weighed in at 159 before. Do you know that Chris Eubank Jr. has weighed in for a fight at 159 before? So even if he gets to 157, he's going to have a rehydration clause. He'll get up to 164 maybe. And he's going to be coming to the ring a bigger man than Conor Benn. So, you know, at the end of the day, I've got to favour the bigger man. I've got to favour that guy, Chris Eubank Jr. Because Chris Eubank Jr. has been in with better opponents. And he's never been rattled. Chris Eubank Jr. has got an iron chin. So how is Conor Benn going to knock out a guy who has an iron chin? Is he thinking that Chris Eubank Jr. is going to get tired, yeah? Does he think that he's going to weight drain Chris Eubank Jr. and then Chris Eubank Jr. is going to be tired later on in the fight and then he's going to try and stop him? I don't see how that can happen. I got to respect Chris Eubanks, but I have more respect for Conor Benn for going into this fight and trying to prove to the world that he can beat a bigger man. He don't need to do this. And to be honest, yeah, if it wasn't for their fathers and the rivalry and the legacy and the big millions and millions of pounds, then Conor Benn really didn't need to take this fight. He's an underdog in this fight. Chris Eubank Jr. is the favourite. So Conor Benn is coming into this fight as the underdog. Look, at the end of the day, the man had a lot to do in the welterweight division. Is this a right decision for Conor Benn? I don't know, you know. I'm a bit confused myself. That why is Conor Benn taking such a risk at such an early age when he's got massive fights at the welterweight division? He got massive fights with Virgil Ortiz. He got big fights with Jarrett Boot Ennis. He got big fights with Ugas, Keith Thurman. So why the fuck would you want to take a risk and fight a guy that's so powerful and has an iron fucking chin like Chris Eubank Jr., bro? This is not a joke. This is a serious challenge for Conor Benn. If you ask me, I have to favour Chris Eubank Jr. And look how big. Hey, look, we saw the press conference. We saw the press conference, and you saw that Chris Eubank Jr. is so much bigger. He's fucking bigger than Conor Benn, bruv. So I'm a bit confused. Yeah, the fight's happening. Yeah, I'm hyped up as a fan. But I do think this is a little bit of a wrong matchup for Conor Benn. I think Conor Benn, yeah, he's a tough guy. But he's a tough guy at welterweight. He's never fought over welterweight. And the man that he's going against has a DNA and a bloodstream. And he's a killer in his own right. Chris Eubank Jr. has beaten better fighters than Conor Benn. And he's got a fucking iron chin. So look, At the end of the day, it was tongue-in-cheek. Both guys faced off with each other, and you saw the difference in the height, and you saw that Chris Eubank Jr. is such a bigger man than Conor Benn. So look, at the end of the day, it's massive, massive money on the line. Their father's legacy's on the line. This is a big showdown with the Benn family versus the Eubank family. This is history for us. You know what I mean? This is a massive, massive history in the remake. Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr. are still spoken about in England today. The older generation have never forgotten those legacy fights. So the way that I look at it is I've got to tell you straight, people, that Chris Eubanks Jr. is a serious, serious threat for Conor Benn. And I just know that I respect Conor Benn for getting in the ring and trying to do something to become great. Because if he beats Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn will be the third biggest fighter in the welterweight division. You heard what I motherfucking said. Conor Benn will be the number 3 welterweight if he beats the bigger guy in Chris Eubank Jr. He'll be doing more than Virgil Ortiz. He'll be doing more than Jarrett Boot Ennis. And his name is going to be the biggest name in the welterweight division. I'm just letting you know this. If Conor Benn beats Chris Eubank Jr., hey, Conor Benn's coming to Texas and he'll be ready to take Virgil Ortiz. Remember my motherfucking words. Hear me out and hear me clearly. If Conor Benn beats Chris Eubanks, he's coming for Virgil Ortiz. I have no problem with Conor Benn fighting Virgil Ortiz. I have no problem with Conor Benn coming with us. We're coming to fucking America, Texas, with Conor Benn. All the British fans will come to fight Virgil Ortiz. So if Conor Benn beats Chris Eubank Jr., you better get ready, bro. You better get ready, bro, because we believe he can then beat Virgil Ortiz or Jarrett Boot Ennis. It is what it is. It is what it is. Conor Benn is looking to do something that other welterweights ain't gonna do. So if he beats Chris Eubank Jr., you better get ready. Because I'm telling you now, ain't no one gonna be telling me that Conor Benn ain't ready for any welterweight. If Conor Benn beats Chris Eubank Jr., he's motherfucking ready for the smoke with anybody at the welterweight division. Fuck it. We're ready if Conor Benn's ready. You know what I mean? But it's a big ask. This ain't going to be easy. This is not going to be something. Let me tell you something about Chris Eubank Jr., yeah? Chris Eubank Jr.'s got his dad's bloodline. He ain't letting this. He's going to try and do anything to take out Conor Benn. I'm just letting you know now that Chris Eubank Jr. is going to fucking put it on Conor Benn. So I just don't know. At this moment, I got to favor Chris Eubank Jr. in that fight. But look, at the end of the day, the fight's on. And the fight's the biggest fight in England. The biggest fight in England. This has got history. This has got bloodline. This is the Eubanks versus the Benns. And if you don't know how big this is, imagine Roy Jones Jr. and Bernard Hopkins. Both of their children now are going to fight each other. Just imagine Roy Jones Jr. and the executioner Bernard Hopkins. Imagine both of their sons in America. Just imagine this, bruv. That Roy Jones Jr.'s son is now knocking everybody out. And Bernard Hopkins' son is a fucking lethal man in the middleweight division. Can you imagine if both of their sons are coming for the legacy? That's how big this fight is. And I understand that the people across the pond are not hyped up like Rapstar, are not hyped up like the British people. Well, guess what? I don't blame you. Maybe you don't see Nigel Benn and Chris Eubanks as legends like we see them. Maybe you don't understand the bloodline and the story and the fucking blood, sweat, and tears and what Nigel Benn, the Dark Destroyer, and Chris Eubank did for England boxing. Maybe you guys don't know how big this is. It's massive. This is one of the biggest fights that ever can be put into the into the United Kingdom, into any arena in United Kingdom. This is huge. This is massive. Massive. You guys don't know how big this is if you're not from England. If you're from England, you already know. If you're from England, you already know. Everybody's waiting to buy the tickets. Everybody's waiting to buy the tickets. If you thought Amir Khan versus Kell Brook was big, well, this is big. This is massive. Can you imagine both of the fathers coming in their son's corner? Can you imagine seeing Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr. after 30 years? England, they were even talking about the fathers fighting 4 years ago. They were trying to make Nigel Benn and Chris Eubanks fight in their 50s. That's how big that they still remember Nigel Benn and Chris Eubanks Sr. It was massive. When Nigel Benn lost the first fight, England, a lot of people in London were gutted. When Nigel Benn lost that first fight, a lot of people were fucking gutted, man. They were upset in London because Nigel Benn's a Londoner and Chris Eubanks comes from Brighton, you know? And we come from London and we were little kids. And I'm telling you, man, so many people from London were upset when Nigel Benn got stopped by Chris Eubank Sr. You know, let me tell you this. When Nigel Benn came back for the rematch, he won that rematch. And they robbed him. They robbed him from that rematch. And a lot of people in England, they were fucking going mad, especially in London, because Nigel Benn beat Chris Eubank Sr. in the rematch if you go watch that fight. But the judges made the fight a draw. So at this point, this rivalry never ended. And let me tell you why. There was meant to be a trilogy. Just like Antonio Barrera versus versus Eric Morales. Just like Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez. You know what I mean? Those trilogies, like Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Some of the biggest trilogy was Nigel Benn versus Chris Eubank Sr. That was a trilogy that England never got. And we as fans were always waiting for that trilogy. Even when these guys became over 50 years old, they were trying to make this trilogy. And now comes the young blood. Now comes the young blood who've got it popping in their veins, in their blood, to try and take revenge for their fathers. This is massive, people. Can you imagine the bloodline, the rivalry, the what's going on inside, trying to prove to their fathers that they're going to, you know, keep their father's legacy alive and keep the name as a winning on the mantelpiece, to say that the Eubanks have won against the Benns, or to say that the Benns have won against the Eubanks. It's massive, people. This is a massive fight. The press conference happened, and I will say that Conor Benn did look a little bit upset when Chris Eubank said to Conor Benn, he said to him that I'm going to execute you in the ring. And I respect you. Chris Eubank said to Conor Benn, I respect you, lad. I respect you, kid, for coming in the ring with me, because I'm going to fuck you up. I'm going to execute you. And then Conor Benn told him, you're delusional. If you think you're going to get in that ring and walk through me, you are delusional, because I'm going to be the first man to stop you. Conor Benn said that he will be the first man to stop Chris Eubank Jr. So, wow, the fight's on. It's here. Let's get ready. I can't wait to see some more press conference, some training videos. It's on. The EUBANKs versus the BENNs. It's on. And we can't wait. You know what I mean? But yo, boys and girls, I'm driving, so I can't see who's in the chat right now. I don't even think there probably is many people in the chat. But if there's people in the chat, yo, big shout out to everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? But this is a massive fight, people. All I'm saying, man. But yo, I just saw the Teofimo Lopez, the weigh-in. I just saw that Teofimo Lopez looking ripped. He came in light, 138.8. I've seen Campa. Campa looks ripped. But look, at the end of the day, I'm just going to make a quick prediction on Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez, I believe, is not just ready for this fight. He wants to get rid of the demons. Teofimo Lopez wants to get rid of the demons, bruv. So the way I look at it is that Teo's coming for it. And I'm telling you now, I think Teo's going to do not just a job on this guy. I think he's going to put the guy to sleep. I think Teofimo, the takeover, knows that he has to make a fucking statement. He has to make a statement. And Teofimo Lopez is at 140 now. His first fight at 140. He's looking good at the weight, man. He's looking good. So come on, Teo. Teo was that special kid. When I've been watching Teofimo Lopez from when he started, you know, I've always believed in Teofimo Lopez because he's a special athlete. Now let's see if Teofimo Lopez is that guy that I know that he can be. Let's see if Teofimo Lopez just brings that momentum and puts on a statement. You know what I'm saying? A dominant performance. But I'm going to say that Teofimo Lopez is going to stop Campa in the 6th round, even in the 5th round. And I believe he's going to go to the body, to the head. Teofimo Lopez's counter-punching's great. If he's conditioned, his foot movement's great. So let's see if Teofimo Lopez puts on a masterful performance. It's on tomorrow. I can't wait. But yo, people, I'm just letting you know that the big showdown in England is definitely going to happen. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubanks. It's on fire. We can't wait. I hope you can't wait. But until then, tomorrow night, it's the takeover is back. The takeover is coming to show the world why he was the takeover, why he beat the number 1, number 2 pound for pound guy. When Teofimo beat Lomachenko, he shut down the boxing world. You heard what I said. When Teofimo Lopez shut down the world and he put the whole boxing world in shock when he beat Lomachenko. Because even I didn't think that Teofimo will beat Lomachenko. I did not think that. But then, when Teofimo Lopez came back to defend his belts, he shocked the boxing world again. Now, we know that he had some health issues, but the whole boxing world was shocked again. Because the man who beat Lomachenko, they never thought that he was going to lose to a fighter like George Kambosos. So here we are now, back. Is the takeover back to come back to make a makeover? Or has takeover become broken inside? Is takeover the guy that I saw coming up and how special he was and how he was knocking people out with his counter punching? How takeover was just too smart and showing people that he's got what it takes to be at the top. Now, we can only see tomorrow, but I have a feeling that the takeover is going to knock out Campa in the 6th round and tell all the boxing world to go fuck themselves. That's how I believe he's going to do it. I think he's going to knock out Campa and he's going to tell all the boxing world that you thought I was done. You thought that because I was injured and my health wasn't good and I lost to Kambosos, that the boxing fans from where he comes from in his own country, they started to slander him. The American boxing fans started to go against Teofimo Lopez when he lost against George Kambosos. So we'll see if Teofimo Lopez will shut down the haters tomorrow night. I can't wait. It's on. The fight's on. Teo versus Campa. And all I'm saying is, we got Xander Zayas. We got Xander Zayas on the undercard. He's a good fighter too. So everybody watch out for the undercard tomorrow, bro. Xander Zayas is a fucking tough fighter. So yeah, you got a good card tomorrow, people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hyped up. I'm hyped up for the takeover to come back. I'm hyped up for AJ Anthony Joshua coming for his rematch versus Alexander Usyk. So yeah, boxing's on fire, man. Boxing's on fire, man. If anybody's come in the building, I can't see. You know what I mean? Give us a little like. Smash the like button if you can. You know what I'm saying? If you're new to the channel, I know I haven't been live. I don't come live much. But we're live here. Chris Eubanks. And Chris Eubanks said, even the 60% of me can beat Conor BENN. What do you think? Who's the favorite in your eyes? I got Chris Eubank Jr. as the favorite. I got Chris Eubank Jr. as the favorite. Few people. Thanks, Jr. Yeah, listen, sliding counter. If Conor BENN beats Chris Eubank Jr., I'm really sorry if you ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say now. But if the Virgil Ortiz and the Jarrett Boot Ennis fans, you better recognize this. If Conor BENN beats Chris Eubank Jr., I'm putting him ahead of them guys. And I've got him behind these guys. I've got Conor BENN behind Virgil and behind Jarrett Boot Ennis. But if Conor BENN beats Chris Eubanks, I'm putting him ahead of those guys. Because he's already a bigger fighter. He's a bigger. He is behind Jarrett Boot Ennis and Conor BENN. Is behind Virgil Ortiz at the moment. But if he beats Chris Eubanks, then he's getting ahead of them, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, if he beats Chris Eubank, I'm putting him ahead of Virgil Ortiz and Jarrett Boot Ennis. You can agree to disagree. That's my opinion. Yo, Punch Drunk said, I don't like Benn's energy. Well, listen, BENN was getting angry. So BENN just kept it cool. You know what I'm saying? BENN just kept it cool. Maybe maybe Tony Sims told Conor BENN, they told him just chill. You know what I'm saying? Don't get a bit more cool. But yo, bro, this is a massive. Listen, with the both of them, they're fighting for their dad's respect. So come on, bro. You know what I mean? Maybe Conor BENN just trying to keep it. Dimitar, what's going on with Dimitar, my brother? Dimitar, what's that? Yeah, hey, listen, these people have got it wrong, haven't they, bro? Chris Eubank Jr. been in there with some serious elite fighters. Chris Eubank been in there with 168, bro. With elite guys. So he knows what it's like. Conor Benn hasn't done that yet, bro. Conor Benn hasn't fought the people like Chris Eubank Jr. Yo, Erif Boxing. What's happening to Erif Boxing, bro? But yo, I'm going to leave the building in a minute. Let me just see what's going on. Eubanks Jr. by stoppage. Erif Boxing says Eubank Jr. by stoppage. You know what I mean? Eubank Jr. by stoppage. Yes, bro. All right, Punch Drunk Boxing says that Ben will be victorious. Punch Drunk Boxing in the motherfucking building, bro. He says that Ben's going to be victorious. Okay. Yo, what's happening to Tip Bayless? Yes, my brethren, Tip Bayless. What guanin? Hey, give me a second, yeah? I'll be back. All right, let me do the chat quickly, yeah, before I get out of it. The two best sons of fighting fathers I've seen so far was Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Corey Spinks, based off accomplishments. Hey, that's a good point. But Floyd Mayweather Sr. and Corey Spinks never fought each other. Floyd Mayweather Sr. and, who's Corey Spinks? Was it Michael Spinks' son? No, Corey Spinks, yeah. Yeah, well, one of the Spinks brothers, they never fought each other. This is bigger because Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn fought each other. You know what I'm saying? So this is way more. The bloodline on this is different, bro. Punch Drunk Boxing says this is a massive fight in the world of boxing. Americans don't see that because the American fans are casuals. It's true, bro. The American fans are casuals. If they're not waking up for this fight like we are, they are fucking casuals when it comes to this fight. 100%. Yeah, sliding counter knows his boxing. Sliding counter knows his boxing. Because he knows that the Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank was epic. Epic. If you haven't seen those fights, go watch those fights now. Go watch the Dark Destroyer, Nigel Benn versus Chris Eubank Sr. before you watch Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. I want you to go watch the fathers' fights. It was epic. Dimitar agrees with me. Teofimo Lopez tomorrow night on a 5th or 6th round knockout. You heard what I said? Teofimo Lopez tomorrow night is a 5th or 6th round knockout. The take back is coming. The take back, the takeover is coming, bro. It's called the take back, the takeover, and the take out. You heard me? Teofimo Lopez's name for this fight is the take back, the takeover, and the take out. He's looking to take out a man, take over boxing, and taking it back. Let's see if that Teofimo Lopez is coming, which came to the ring before and showed us why Teo is that guy. What's happening, Halim? My mate, Halim. Yes, Halim, man. What's going on, my countryman? Fucking biggest fight in the world, Halim. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank. It's going down, bruv. It's going bad down. And I'm telling you now, if the rest of the world ain't involved like us, they're losing out. This fight is fucking legacy. This fight is hype. And this fight is one of the biggest fights in boxing right now. Smash that motherfucking like button, people. Give us a little like, you know what I mean? Me old pal, me old China, me old cocker. Give us a little like, son. Yo, Halim says that Conor Benn smashes Chris Eubanks. I don't believe it, bro. I don't believe that. But yo, Halim, you got your opinions, bro. Just Blaze in the building. Just Blaze got the best Blaze in the world, bro. Yes, Just Blaze. Blessings to you, Just Blaze. Oh, I'm breaking up. Is it? I'm breaking up, bro. Nobody ain't told me that I'm breaking up, bro. Ain't nobody telling me this shit. That I'm breaking up. Wait. Stay on live. Am I still breaking up, bro? Am I still breaking up? I'm going to shut down this live in a minute if I'm breaking up too much. Conor Benn. Conor Benn. Conor Benn. Hey, Halim. Man, enough respect to you, bro, but I got Chris Eubanks as a favourite. Even though I'm a big Conor Benn fan. I'm a big Conor Benn fan. But I got to go with Chris Eubanks at this moment, bro. Joker in the building, mate. Big shout out to the Joker, man. Hey, look, man, we only got fucking 12 people in the building, right? At least give us a like, man. You know what I mean? Support your boy. Support your boy across the pond, bruv. Know what I'm saying? We only got fucking 12, 11 people. At least give us some likes. You know what I'm saying? The fucking chat's a joker, bruv. Fucking people are jokers. You know what I'm saying? Virgil will take anyone out from the UK. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. But I'll tell you this much now. If Conor Benn beats Chris Eubanks, hey, Virgil's in for a fight. If Conor Benn beats Chris Eubanks, Virgil's in trouble. You heard it here first. If Conor Benn beats Chris Eubanks, Virgil Ortiz is in trouble. That's all I'm telling you. That's all I'm telling you, bro. Don't be sleeping on my boy Ben. Don't be sleeping on that destroyer. If my boy Ben beats Chris Eubank Jr., hey, Virgil Ortiz better get ready. We're packing our bags. We're coming with Conor Benn to fucking Texas. You heard what I said? I'm just letting you know. You know what I mean? We're going to back our boy Conor Benn. If he beats Chris Eubanks, we're going to back him with anyone in the welterweight, to be fair. Hey, my audio's breaking up, bro. So I'm out of here. Hey, can you hear me? Yo, let me see if you can hear me. Yo, huge step up for Ben. Ben beats Eubanks. How do you rank him at 147? Yo, Ben beats Eubanks. After Keith Thurman, I'll put Conor Benn. Listen, if Ben beats Eubanks after fucking Keith Thurman, I'm putting there Conor Benn, bro. That's all I'm telling you. Boots is a few donuts away from not making weight. We need custom Tiafimo headbands. Yes, man. Guido in the motherfucking building, people. Yes, Guido, one of my first people on the chats when I used to go live years ago. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Guido. Couple years ago, should I say. Yes, Guido, Teofimo Lopez and Xander Zayas this Saturday. Massive, bro. Massive card. We can't wait. You know what I mean? We can't wait. I hear you clearly. Yes, man. You're good now, bro. Demeter says he can't hear me. Okay, I'm good. Virgil. Mexican style. Yes, man. The Mexicans don't play around, bro. Virgil got that salsa. Virgil got that fucking salsa, bro. I get you, man. Virgil's the fucking man. Don't get me wrong. Virgil Ortiz is the motherfucking man at the welterweight division. But my boy Conor Benn is taking risk. My boy Conor Benn is doing something that none of those guys are doing. So at least let's give Conor Benn some respect today, bro. You know what I mean? To challenge himself in such a hard fight. That's all I'm asking for. Virgil is that guy. But let's give Conor Benn some respect now. You know what I mean? Let's be fair about it. You know what I mean? Conor Benn, he's been proving to you. Conor Benn's been proving to you guys, bro, what he can do. So come on, guys. Put some respect on Conor Benn's name. You know what I mean? The boy's giving you such a big fight. He's giving us one of the biggest fights. He don't need to take this fight at 157. He don't need to challenge this guy. Come on, man. Give Conor Benn his fucking flowers, bro. You know what I'm saying? Virgil versus the winner between Benn or EUBANK is bigger than Virgil versus Crawford. Hey, look, I'm going to touch on this. On my next live, I'm going to touch on this. That if Conor Benn beats EUBANK, that Conor Benn and Virgil Ortiz is a bigger fight now because of the young blood. You know what I mean? The young blood. It's a bigger fight than even Terence Crawford and Virgil. You hear me? If Conor Benn beats Chris EUBANK, and then there's a fight between Conor Benn versus Virgil Ortiz, that'll be massive. That'll be one of the biggest fights right now in the welterweight division, bro. One of the biggest fucking fights that would be. But yo, guys, I can't wait. I can't wait. And I can't even wait for the Conor Benn versus Chris EUBANK fight. It's going to be massive. But yo, give us a like, smash the like button. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, everybody get ready for tomorrow night. The takeover is back. The takeover is back to take back and to take out his opponent. Let's see how the takeover is going to look. Let's see how Teofimo looks at 140. Because there's a lot of killers at 140 waiting for Teofimo Lopez, bro. There's a lot of killers at 140 waiting for Teofimo Lopez, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, everybody, let's get ready. We got big fights tomorrow across the pond. I can't wait. And I'm sure you guys can't wait. You know what I mean? Yo, Kobe Vino. UK. Hey, listen, man. I'm just glad that you guys are in this fight with us. I'm glad that you guys are real boxing fans. And you're standing right with us in one of the biggest fights for England. I'm glad you're here as real boxing fans. Because only a hater, only a man who doesn't like England or racist, a man who's a fucking not a true boxing fan, is a man who's not going to support the biggest fight across the pond in my fucking town. Conor Benn versus Chris EUBANK is one of the biggest fights in boxing. And if you don't understand that, then you're not with us in the sport of boxing. If you don't understand the fight that's going through the veins of Chris EUBANK versus Conor Benn, you are not a true boxing fan. If you're not excited like me, you are not a true boxing fan. If you're not hyped up like me, you are not a true boxing fan. If you're hyped up, then you love the sport. Before any country or any race, you're a true boxing fan. So support Conor Benn versus Chris EUBANK Jr., the biggest fight in boxing. But yo, let me give a shout out to Kobe Vino. Dimitar says he can hear me. That would definitely be a huge fight for Virgil Ortiz. Conor Benn versus Virgil Ortiz in 2023. Mark my words. Conor Benn versus Virgil Ortiz in 2023. Boxing is on fire. That's right, my brother. That's a true boxing fan. We got Takeover. We got Xander Zayas tomorrow. We got announced Conor Benn versus Chris EUBANK. And then we've got Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk. I'm going to go live about that fight on Sunday probably. I'm going to talk about Anthony Joshua's return versus Alexander Usyk, one of the biggest fights in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So boxing's on fire. Boxing's on fire. And then we got Gennady Golovkin versus Canelo Alvarez, part 3. Fucking hell, bro. Hey, let me just tell you this. This fight with Conor Benn versus Chris Eubanks is like Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin, both sons, after 30 years. Can you imagine that? Just think about that in your brain. Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin's both sons in 30 years are going to fight each other. Can you imagine how big that fight with the rivalry could be? That's what Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. is for us. For me, I hope it's the same for you. Sliding Counter says we've seen fighters like Khan, Brook, both go to 2 weight classes and the outcome was ruined. Their careers, even more from the outcomes. I hope that doesn't happen to Ben. I'm going to talk about that, Sliding Counter, when I got more time in my hands. I'm going to talk about this on my next lives. But I'm not going to talk about it now. I'm going to break down the fight. I'm going to say what's the risk, what's right, what's wrong, what could happen to each fighter. I'm going to do the ultimate breakdown of this fight on soon in my next lives coming up. But today I don't have the time for it. But smash the like button, bro. But Sliding Counter, a very good point. A very good point that Sliding Counter said. And I'm going to touch on that, me old brethrens. Shout out to the UK. Shout out to Guido, man. Guido, a true brother. You know what I mean? Stop looking at the culture. Stop looking at the race. Support each other. Support our fight because it means a lot to us. You need to support this fight because it's one of the biggest fights in England. You need to be true to the sport before you're true to any fanboy. Latinos and UK have the best fan base. Hey, maybe I need to do a live about that. Who are the best fans around the world? That's a good one, bro. Listen, Kobe says, listen, when I heard this fight was being made, I was shocked and so hyped. Like what Conor's doing to getting his weight up. Hey, listen, this fight is fucking mad. This fight with Conor Benn versus Chris Eubanks is fucking mad, bro. It's mad. It was a dream. It was like a fantasy. They just put the fantasy into reality. Can you imagine that? This was a fantasy fight, bro. And they made a fantasy fight into a reality. This is like me playing on my Xbox. This fight is like I'm playing on my fucking Xbox, making a character with Conor Benn and then getting another character in Chris Eubanks. But this is reality. That's why we're so hyped up. Don't forget Emmanuel Navarrete next week. Yes, Guido. Navarrete is fighting next week. Yes, man. Emmanuel Navarrete. Big fight. Anthony versus Usyk. We're going to talk about that soon, Kobe. Make sure you're on the next live. We're going to do this. We're going to do this, bruv. Kobe says, but Conor wants to fight Adrian Broner after Eubanks. What do you think about that, Rapstar? I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Broner's at the end of it, bro. Broner's going to get knocked the fuck out by Conor Benn. Broner's going to get fucked up by Conor Benn, bro. Conor Benn will fucking put that man into retirement right now. I think Broner needs to stay away from Conor Benn. Hey, Joker says that Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank's going to be great. Thanks for the love, Joker. Thanks for the love, man. I feel you guys, bro. I feel you. This is a massive fight. Yo, man, give us some likes, man. Subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. Rapstar going at it, bro. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubanks. Motherfucking hyped up I am. And then I'm hyped up because the takeover's back, the take back, and the takeout. He's coming to show the world why he was the takeover. So, yo, big fights are here, man. Halim says that Conor Benn's going to smash Chris Eubanks. I kind of disagree with Halim, but, you know, all love to my brethren, Halim, bro. Halim's my brethren. Jonathan Ramirez says UK showing Errol and bitch-ass Crawford how to make fights happen. Listen to Jonathan Ramirez. He says the UK is showing the Americans how these fucking guys are acting like bitches and not getting in the fucking ring. Hey, that's a good point. There's history behind Conor versus Eubank Jr. fight. It's a massive history. Yo, Epoxy Magic, where you been, my brethren? Yo, Epoxy Magic, man, where you been, bro? Where the fuck you been, Epoxy Magic, man? You flying around the world or what? Because the last time I caught up with you, you was a pilot. The last time we spoke, you was a pilot. So you a pilot now. You're going all over the world. You're flying. You know what I mean? Yes, Epoxy Magic. Been a long time, my brother. I hope you're doing well. Ben versus Eubank happened overnight. Spence versus Crawford stalled for years. Hey, Rapstar. Roman Chocolito Gonzalez versus Estrada in December. Woo! Holy shit. Listen to Guido. Chocolito versus Estrada, part 3. Holy shit, Guido. I might have to come over for that fight, bro. I might have to come over across the pond for that fight. Yes, man, my brother from another mother. Yes, my brethren. Joshawn Brown, what a guan, bro. How you doing, my brethren? You all right, Joshawn Brown? I got Conor. Man, I like that dude. He really means business. When saying he wants elite and the best, I don't see him capping, holding back. He works the magic. So, yo, Kobe Vino says Conor Benn is that guy. And he does what it takes to fight the best. Yo, Conor Benn is that guy, bro. Conor Benn has gone a long fucking way in boxing. If he beats Chris Eubanks, hey, Halim, if Conor Benn beats Chris Eubanks, where you got him in the welterweight division? I want to ask you guys. If Conor Benn beats Chris Eubanks at middleweight guy, if he beats that guy, where have you got him in the welterweight division? Tell me where you got him. I was there when Eubank Jr. put Blackwell in a coma. That's what I mean, bro. Eubank Jr.'s got an iron chin. Eubank Jr.'s got punching power. Eubank Jr. is a fucking tough son of a bitch. I'm telling you now, Eubank Jr. is a tough man. I'm just telling you. Hey, let me tell you this. Jamal Charlo couldn't fucking drop Eubank Jr. Jamal Charlo will not be able to drop Eubank Jr. He might be able to beat him. You can outbox him, but you ain't gonna fucking drop him. I've never seen Eubank Jr. even do the stinky leg. I've never seen Eubank Jr. take a knee. So I'm just letting you guys know now that Conor Benn's fighting a real, true fighter, man. Yeah, he ain't won a sanctioning body which is recognized, but Eubank Jr. was an IBO world champion. An IBO world champion. Eubank Jr. beat a medalist, a gold medalist in fucking James DeGale. The same James DeGale that dropped Badou Jack. The same fucking James DeGale that beat Badou Jack, but he got a draw. The same James DeGale is the man that got beaten up by Chris Eubanks. Can you imagine Conor Benn going in against Jamal Charlo? That's what he's doing. Conor Benn's going in against a fighter like Jamal Charlo. Maybe not as skilled, but the same kind of a fighter, same kind of a build, same kind of a height, same kind of a reach. There's, you know what I'm saying? You got to remember that, bro. This is not a joke. Hey, listen, Conor Benn is risking it big time against Chris Eubanks. You never know. Both fathers might jump in the ring and fight. They're not going to fight. But you know what I want to see, Halim? I want to see Nigel Benn face off with Chris Eubanks Sr. about this fight with their sons. I want to see both of the old legends face off and talk about their sons leading up to the fight. Give me a second, guys. Boxing's great, bro. I'm excited. Let's go. Hey, I don't know why there's a hater here for Guido, bro, but this guy seems like come out of nowhere. Top 5 easily. Conor Benn's top 5 easy. Wow. Halim said rap star. I put him number 2. What? What? Halim just said if Conor Benn beats Chris Eubanks, he's number 2 in the welterweight division. Wow, we're going to talk about this on the next live, bro. We're going to talk about this, Halim. We're going to have to talk about this. Jeff Lucia, bro, what's happening, my brethren? Yes, Jeff. Yes, man. What's going on, Jeff? Jeff says, I'm pulling for Conor Benn. A lot of people are pulling for Conor Benn. Nigel was an animal in the ring. Yeah, he was. Nigel Benn wanted to fight fucking Roy Jones Jr. And Roy Jones Jr. overpriced himself. Let me tell you this. Roy Jones Jr. overpriced himself when it came to fighting Nigel Benn. That's a fact. Roy Jones Jr. wanted more money than anybody in the world when they asked him to fight Nigel Benn, when Nigel Benn beat Gerald McKellen. All right, mate? I'm letting you know some fucking history over here. Yes, Jeff, says Halim. Halim says, Jeff says, what's up, Halim? That'd be mad, rap star. Yes, bro, that will be mad. Yes, sir. Shout out to the haters, bro. Shout out to the motherfucking haters. But yo, Guido, Halim, Jeff, Kobe, Krypton, I don't know who the fuck that is, bro. Jashawn Brand, Joker, Epoxy Magic. Get ready, bro. It's gonna go down in England. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. We can't wait. But until then, I'm gonna come to you guys across the pond tomorrow. We're gonna watch the fights with the takeover, the take back, and the take out against Teofimo Lopez versus Akampa. Let's see what happens, man. With that fight, I'm expecting Teo to show up and show out. And then we got Xander Zayas. So boxing's on a fucking big time right now. Boxing's coming big time right now. But I'm going to catch you guys on the next live, bro. I got work to do. In fact, I got some bits to do, bro. So I'm going to catch you guys later. Until then, peace out to all my brothers and sisters in the boxing world. We out of it. Peace.